It's like my father always said to me, "Shut up, engine, you freak!"
What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and Beanox has done a fantastic job bringing back old characters into Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled and introducing new players to them. However, I personally don't think that makes these characters really relevant again, because I don't think we'll see characters like Megamix or Zem and Zam or the Tag Team Racing Crew in any upcoming future Crash games, or at least not any that are coming out soon. For example, Emperor Velo is coming out in a few days, and I don't think we'll be seeing him in the next Crash title. And the same goes with any other CTR characters that are highly requested and could come in the future, like the Evil Twins, Madame Amberly, Viscount, etc. But what if I was absolutely wrong, and there was a place for each and every character somewhere within a main series Crash title? Where would they all fit? What would they do? Leave your ideas in the comment section below as I begin my speculation on what characters could return, and what they'd be there for. A way that the Mario series has been keeping its characters alive, mainly villains, is through various different types of boss battles. Each of the Koopalings have their own fight, Bowser has his own fights, Bowser Jr. has his own fights, sometimes Bowser and Bowser Jr. team up, sometimes you fight multiple Koopalings at once, sometimes Kamek or Magic Koopa, whatever you want to call it, comes and enhances the characters in the fight to make them fight differently. All sorts of different stuff like that. So not only could Crash Bandicoot games increase the number of boss fights they have, but they could also do different variants of the same boss fight. Bringing characters back, perhaps Cortex temporarily mutates them even further to make them stronger and do different stuff. Perhaps multiple could fight at once, teaming up together like Tiny and Koala Kong, the Strong Boys. It would just be interesting and ramp up the challenge, since the Crash Bandicoot series already has notoriously some of the easiest bosses ever. One specific idea I did have was Nitrous Brio and Dingodile teaming up. Brio hurls his beakers and potions into the air as Dingodile ignites them into a powerful chemical explosion with his flamethrower. So through this method, I think a lot of one-off or forgotten Crash characters could be brought back as well. Just imagine Emperor Velo driving Cortex in circles around you as he fires at you from all angles, making it much harder to deflect his plasma shots back at him. We haven't had Pinstripe as a main series Crash boss since Crash 1, so let's bring him back. Maybe he could team up with the Engine. Pinstripe could start off attacking you with his Tommy gun, but once he takes a few hits, he realizes that doesn't work, and Engine tosses him a new gun that he just built, a laser gun. A few hits later, that doesn't work either, so Engine tosses him yet another one, an awesome grenade launcher. Pinstripe takes a few more hits, and the boss battle's done. There's just so many interesting concepts like that could be used to bring back old villains from the series. In fact, I might just make an entire video about boss battle ideas for the next main series Crash game. When it comes to playable characters, we can actually take some inspiration from the Sonic games. Well, not the recent ones, more so Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure. In those games, they had different characters that were dedicated to certain styles of gameplay, or characters with their own storylines. For instance, they would have Sonic on the basic platforming levels, Tails in the machine levels, and Knuckles doing treasure hunts. For Crash, we could make it a lot more interesting to include some forgotten characters. Since the Insane Trilogy granted Coco Bandicoot the same moveset as Crash so she can basically do anything he can, they can work on the platforming levels together. This would basically leave vehicle and machine levels open to whoever we want. Say, Von Clutch, Pasadena, or the Nitro Squad, characters whose entire personalities revolve around racing. Then we could have Crunch be playable in beat-em-up segments that play similar to Crash of the Titans in order to keep every area of the fanbase happy. Not to mention that Crash Twinsanity even showed us that the series can have its own dark mode with characters like Cortex and Nina being playable. This would also give us the chance to have boss battles from the villain's point of view in the series, which would be pretty cool. We've already fought against Coco and Crunch multiple times as they've been hypnotized before, but we haven't gotten to fight Crash in a boss battle yet. Let's see if we'd be able to take what we can normally dish out with him. However, developers of a future Crash game, if you happen to be watching this video, then please, if you for some reason use this gameplay style that I'm suggesting, make sure that Crash's platforming levels take up a majority of the gameplay. Because one of the big flaws about the Sonic Adventure games that I took inspiration for this idea from was that the mech and the treasure hunt levels completely overshadowed the basic speed and platforming levels. So basically only a small percentage of the game was what we actually wanted to see. Don't make that mistake with Crash. Then the final way to have these unique, underused characters return is by simply populating the world with them, having them there just for the sake of having them there. Unlike the Mario and Sonic games, the Crash series doesn't really have its own population of background characters, no one to really save the world for. Sure, Cortex has his grunts and the wildlife will sometimes attack you, but there's no real standard everyday citizens. The closest we've gotten is Farmer Ernest in Crash to Insanity. So perhaps just have characters like Hasty, Rillaroo, Yaya Panda, Chicken Stew just populating the world for whatever reason. I mean, the Sonic series does have Blaze and Silver show up from time to time for no reason, even though they don't really belong in certain time periods or dimensions. So I guess no shame in Crash doing the same? Besides, there are places in the plot where you could stick these characters. For example, Chicken Stew could be news anchors just like they are on CTR TV, and alert our protagonists of the threat that's coming soon. Perhaps Hasty could be a mechanic and upgrade your vehicles for the vehicle missions. Yaya could be in charge of minigames. There's just lots of different ideas. So overall, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is doing an amazing job of pulling out obscure characters from Crash's history. And hopefully it'll be enough to push them back into relevancy, especially with these neat ideas. So in the comment section below, let me know what you thought of this video and give me your ideas for what they could possibly do with all these different characters they've been putting in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Anyways, see you guys next time. LeopoldTheBrave, out.